Imagine Horror Network, the official horror stories channel.
The monster inside of me. Ishmael was a normal man, but something sinister had begun to stir inside him. At first, he thought it was simply the stress of his job, but soon he began to feel changes to his body and mind. He couldn't explain the sudden urge to cause harm until he saw his reflection one day and was horrified by what stared back at him. A monster. Little did Ishmael know, the sinister changes he was feeling would turn him into the monstrous creature he was now beholding and would soon be unleashed on the world. Ishmael had been feeling strange for weeks now. He felt irritable and angry for no reason and noticed physical changes such as his skin turning a darker and more scaly color. He tried to brush it off as stress, but he couldn't ignore the feeling any longer. He eventually got up the courage to look in the mirror and saw a face with an inhumanly shaped head and glowing eyes. He was horrified and terrified at what he saw and scrambled back, tripping over his feet as he fell out of the room. Ishmael desperately sought out an answer to what was happening to him and tried to explain away the changes he'd been experiencing. However, the more he read, the more he was certain that he was undergoing a transformation into some kind of monster. He began to research more intensely, seeking any answers so he could stop what was happening to him. Unbeknownst to him, the more he searched, the more it only fed the beast inside. Afraid of what he had become, Ishmael began to isolate himself more and more. He was scared to be around people and kept to himself, only leaving the house for food and supplies. He spent the majority of his days in his bedroom, researching and struggling to come to terms with what he was becoming. Ishmael was desperate to find a way to stop the monster inside of him from taking control. He tried various methods such as meditation, self-affirmations, and even drugs, but nothing worked. He was sinking into a deep depression and spiraling down a dark path that he was unsure he'd return from. As Ishmael began to lose hope, the monster inside him became stronger. It no longer sought to be controlled and began to take control of Ishmael's body and mind. He was soon overtaken and went out into the night to hunt for its prey. He prowled the streets, looking for victims to feed the beast's insatiable hunger. Before anyone could offer help or even understand what was happening, Ishmael was on a rampage. He attacked anyone who got in his way, whether through biting, clawing, or smashing. His rampage left a path of destruction behind him, and he was soon labeled a monster in the eyes of the public. The police set out to capture Ishmael and put an end to his rampage. They tracked him down to his hideout and set up a plan to confront him and take him down. A team of experts had also been called in to try and save Ishmael, but it was clear that the monster had taken a hold of him and was in full control. The police and experts had reached the hideout, but Ishmael was nowhere to be seen. They waited in anticipation, and soon the monster appeared, standing in their path with an inhuman roar. The experts took one step forward and tried to counsel with Ishmael, while the police stayed back, guns at the ready. It was a standoff, and no one knew who would triumph at the end. Using all of their knowledge and skill, the experts were able to slowly talk Ishmael back to being his old self. It was a long process, but eventually the beast was gone. Ishmael was exhausted from the battle, but he was back. He was still scared of what he had become and what he was capable of, but the experts promised to help him learn how to control his power and use it for good. Ishmael was never fully the same after his transformation, but it gave him newfound insight into his life. He appreciated things more than he ever had before, and he channeled energy into bettering himself, in addition to helping those around him. He became a protector of sorts and was hailed as a hero by many. His newfound power, while appearing in a monstrous form, actually saved many lives.